Hey YouTube, Nick Too Sick here, back with another fishing video. Today I'm finally releasing it, the California Delta fishing report for June 2018. So sorry it's a little bit late, guys, but you know what? I've been out there on the river fishing and they've been biting good, and I've been having a lot of fun, and just gonna make sure that it's really detailed for you guys. And believe it or not, it's really simple this month, and doing the same thing every day and having a lot of success doing it. So the theme of the morning, obviously, if you've been watching my videos so far, is top water. So I'm throwing the frog, guys, the white frog, this right here, snag proof ish is poppin' fatty. This is what I'm throwing. Congratulations, Ish, on your win on the Mississippi River. He just won a Bass Elite Series throwing this. So this is a good bait, you guys. White frog, can't go wrong. I also throw silver frogs. I like throwing that when there's a lot of bait fish around and I'm trying to mimic shad. Also will throw the black and yellow. I like that when I'm trying to target fish that are eating little ducks and birds and that sort of thing. So believe it or not, when you throw a frog, I mean, you're not always trying to make it look like a frog. At least I'm not. I believe that the bass really don't know what they're attacking, to be honest. Bass don't really think, they react. So they're conditioned to their environment. They see it splashing on the top of the water. Maybe they get a good look at the colors, and I'm not convinced that they are actually targeting certain things. I think they're just opportunists that are conditioned to their environment. So, I'm throwing a white that stands out really good on those green mats. Like I said, I don't like throwing green or brown frogs. I like throwing, white, black, and yellow. They don't get lost in the colors of the mat. The fish can see them really well, and clear. So I'll throw that in the morning, and then when it starts warming up a little bit and the top water bite dies off, I'm throwing Senkos. This is what I'm throwing. This is a little mini Senko. As you can see it, I got it in the little smoky shad color. Again, silver. Throwing this around, looking for fish that are looking to eat little other bait fish, and this matches the hatch really well. So I just throw a little 3/0 EWG hook on that, rig it weedless, and just throw it in little pockets. They eat that up. And when I'm not throwing this, I'll usually start throwing this and do really well on that. And I catch a lot of fish, a lot of little fish, a lot of big fish on this. I've caught 5-pounders off this little tiny stick bait, so it works. So I want to talk a little bit about Senkos for a minute. I don't talk about them a lot on my channel because I just feel like it's just really already known that this is the best bass bait in the business. This is what they bite. So in reality, you could put Senkos into every single one of my reports because I'm always throwing them. Everybody's always throwing them, and they always work all times of year. So it just turns out that I'm throwing them a lot more than I usually do other parts of the season. I don't throw Senkos as much when the bass are biting really well, like in the spring and the fall. But in the summer and winter months, the hotter and cooler months, I do find myself throwing a lot more Senkos. So let's talk a little bit about the way I throw Senkos, because there's a few different philosophies and patterns I have with those. So the one is being the small little bait fish. This is a worm, but like again I said, fish react. They don't think I'm not convinced they think this is a worm. They think this is a little fish. So in my mind, that's what I'm doing. So in addition to this, I don't have one in front of me. I'm doing really well throwing the Zoom Super Fluke weightless, just like a Senko, and letting it sink. I'm not twitching it at all. Do really well with that. When I run out of these, going through a lot of these, and it just looks like a dying little bait fish. So another Senko I've been throwing this month is when I get into areas where I'm seeing a lot of bluegill, I'll pick up this Senko. As you can see, it's blue and green pumpkin. This is I think it's called like moon dust, I want to say. I can't remember. That's the something like that. But it's blue and green. This looks like a bluegill. I prefer to, you know, throw these in shallow waters where I feel like the big bass are eating bluegill. So again, this is a really, really good color bait that I like to throw. I keep it pretty simple. So as you can see, little bait fish color, little bluegill color, it makes sense. The number one Sanko color that I throw is black and red. This is basically from afar. It just looks like a silhouette. You can barely see the red in it. It's black. They can see this in the dark, in the daytime, all light conditions. Very, very versatile. Muddy waters. You can always throw this in any body of water and you'll do good. And also, if you look closely on the sunnier days, it does have the red flake in there. So, you know, that can trigger bass too. And I throw this, you know, about three weeks out of the month. I'm usually throwing this, and then right around the full moon times, when the crawfish start molting and shedding their skins, I'll pick up, you know, an orange color, because that's what I'm trying to mimic with these. I don't think these bass are targeting, you know, big giant worms. They're just not really in the delta. There's big leeches, but not really big worms. So again, I'm thinking, you know, they just think this is the color patterns is, you know, around the lunar time when the crawfish are molting, I'll throw that, and then, you know, when they're just black and red normal, I'll throw that. So those are my Sanko patterns and philosophies. I don't really go beyond that very much, to be honest. Those are my 4 Sanko colors that I stock up on. You know, sometimes I'll buy the seasonal ones just because it's, you know, fun to do. But those are those staples that I always have in the boat. So other than that, basically, I'll be throwing this Texas rigged Cowboy. Been catching a lot of fish. Me and the crew have been throwing this Cowboy off the hook. We've gone through several packs. That's the new Yamamoto bait. It's kind of like a flapping hog, but you can see it's got this twin tail. I just basically Texas rigged that with a 1/2 ounce or a 3/8 ounce tungsten flipping weight. This one I peg because, you know, I've been targeting toolies. Normally I won't peg my Texas rig except for when I throw it into toolies. If you watch previous videos, I tell you I almost never peg it, which is very true. However, when I am fishing toolie lines for that day, high tide, I will peg it. Otherwise, you'll throw it out there and it'll wrap around the toolie and you get hung up too much. So that's really the only time that I will peg that. So get a good look at that. The Yamamoto Cowboy, they just been chewing that. That's pretty much the only creature bait that I've been throwing this month, and I'm gonna keep doing this pattern into next month. So it's just working really well. I'm also throwing this little 3/8 finesse jig, Kucha's Wada jig, and I'm doing well on that. They're biting the 3/8 ounce a lot better than the 1/2 ounce right now, and they're holding on to it a little bit longer. So that's why I'm throwing a 3/8 ounce jig. I even caught 3 5-pounders on this jig right here, the 3/8 ounce. And the guys in the front of the boat are throwing 1/2 ounce for every 3 bass they're catching. I'm catching 5, and I'm catching big ones on the smaller jig. So if you're jig fishing right now, try downsizing. It's working really well. And you know, really slow middle of the days when they're just not biting that well. The only thing I've been getting them to bite again are these Sankos, and I've also been throwing, you know, just these little paddle tail swim baits. This is a Kitech. I'll throw them, you know, with a belly hook just like that. Or I've also been throwing them on a little swim jig. Again, I'm throwing the 3/8 ounce swim jig. You know, they're just holding on to it a little bit longer, and I'm fishing shallower waters. So this is basically what I've been doing this month, you guys. So get out there. The fishing this month has been great. It's been good. You know, I haven't been catching a lot of fish, but I've been catching some big fish, going out, catching limits, good, you know, 15-pound bag. So, I mean, that's what's going on out in the Delta right now, you guys. If you haven't already, make sure you check out Filthy Anglers. Get yourself a nice hat and sunglasses. Filthy's got some really cool ones, because out there on the Delta right now it's really, really bright. If you don't got your hat and your polarized sunglasses on right now, you're not seeing anything. So keep that in mind. If you're in the market for a new hat and new glasses, check out filthyanglers.com. They're nice enough to give me my own promo code. It's FilthyNick, one word, all lowercase letters. That'll get you a sweet 10% off on your entire order. So thanks again, everybody, for watching. I'm going to try to get a couple videos in this next month, hopefully of me catching some fish, maybe a Berryessa trip. You never know, guys. I got stuff planned. So also might be taking the boat out to Del Val. So maybe I could do some reports on those areas in addition as well. So thank you guys. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you next time.